Okay. Move that down a little bit. So I'm Brian Weiser with App.L.E, often known as Call-A.P.P.L.E. We're the oldest Apple user group from 1978, still going strong with a variety of offerings. And as I usually do, I'm going to try to do a quick run through of everything to date and then cover our new products for all the newcomers. And if you do have questions while we're going along, please feel free to interject with a brief question. I love slides so much because Steve Jobs hates them. That's why I've got about 90 of them. Who works at App.L.E? Well, first of all, good old Bill Martens, who is our president and big director of traffic, sometimes doubling as an international spy, it looks like. Jim Maricondo has been with us for many, many years. He was actually the creator of the Twilight 2 screensaver, and he's done a lot of great things for us. Javier, Mr. Retrobright's always writing cool articles. Me, Brian Weiser, I do the design and editing of our books, among other things. And then Marcus Adams is a newcomer to the group. Yay, Marcus! And he made some nice t-shirts for us this year and is going to be helping us with other things, besides evidently competing with Javier for the next cover of GQ. And as far as a user group, we do have a base level membership fee to receive the benefits. It's about $28 a year at the base level. That gives you access to our full library of all of our legacy magazine PDFs, along with PDFs of the new magazine we've been producing for several years, and other benefits you can read about on our members page. And Call-A.P.P.L.E. magazine, like the user group, was started by Val Golding in 1978. And we love the rare early issues so much. A few years back, we made compendium books of those first two rare years. And our new magazine, this is one of my favorite covers. Bill actually took that photo. We restarted the digital magazine. It got restarted a few times, but most recently in 2015 and consistently since then. It's for all of our members. And we're doing about 3 to 4 issues a year. And the issues are, we'd actually started doing it in iBooks Author, which is bigger than an 8.5 by 11 page, it turns out. And our issues are anywhere from 50 to 100 pages of content in PDF format. And we wanted to especially celebrate our 40th anniversary as a user group and magazine that happened in February. So we took that issue and put it in print. So you can buy this issue, and it's available in a premium edition with super glossy, high-quality paper, and then a more affordable edition. And also, you can download the full PDF, whether you're a member or not, for a limited time, if you just go to the magazine section of the website. And we've done other magazines, the Mac App.L.E. We've also hosted the Australian Apple Review. Our primary website, call-apple.org, is where you'll find news and information, retro and current. We run a lot of different sites, and thought we'd make it easier for people to find. We added a little extras menu to the main site where you can find links to some of the most common ones we run, because we love creating lots of different things. One of the older ones we've done is Apple Archives, which is a collection of different websites and magazines and software and so forth, kind of all-encompassing. Hosted on our Apple Archives, we have 2 sites that are very near and dear to my heart that I did with Bill. The Beagle Bros official site, manuals, software, etc., and the Applied Engineering site, and a lot of the scans and documents you'll see on those Bill and I did. Virtual Apple is web browser emulation that's been around since 2003. We've also got Virtual Atari, Virtual Game Boy, GameSite, sites like that. And we're currently reworking the emulator code because web browser standards change over time, so we're doing some updates on that, but it does have a gigantic database that's used by ActiveGS and others. We run mecc.co, the big educational company. This is the official site supported by some of the first CEOs and presidents with free software and PDFs available. We're always expanding that. Bill bought so many hundreds of different educational binders, and it's just a process to go through and archive it and make it available, so that's an ongoing project. And we produce books. We've started producing new books since 2013 at Call-A.P.P.L.E./books. And the first one, which I'm especially proud of, is the WozPack with Steve Wozniak. This was taken when he unexpectedly introduced it with me at Kansasfest in 2013. It's a collection of his highly restored original handwritten notes and printouts on the Apple II. We did a major enhanced edition of What's Where in the Apple, which is a great programmer's reference, over 600 pages, over 2,700 memory locations of peeks, pokes, and calls. It's approachable by programmers of all levels, and there's just a quick sample of one of the chapters and some information out of the atlas with detailed descriptions and so forth. We had re-released the Monitor Appealed, which is a classic collection of peeks, pokes, and calls. When Mike Harvey was the keynote speaker, we were inspired to do a book to honor him. So this is a highly organized compilation of all of his viewpoint editorials from all of his Nibble magazines, covering business, covering history, personal advice, software piracy, a little of everything. Partnered with David All to reboot his Colossal Computer cartoon book. He wrote a new foreword for it, and it's just a fun collection of cartoons from the 70s, like What Hurts Is I Wasn't Replaced by a Whole Computer, Just a Transistor. 1970s humor, but it's still fun. And Cyberjack that we released last year, this is Bob Clardy's autobiography. Bob Clardy was the president of Synergistic Software, and he released his company released over 400 titles for so many different game systems over decades, and also released titles for other publishers as well. And I had to show this photo because Roger showed another version of it earlier. We've got Bob and Woz and then Roger next to him. So there's a lot of photos throughout this, early development at Synergistic, programming tips, some of his experiences working with other companies like Sierra, where he helped with Thexter and many others. Business sections, since this is an autobiography and he's a fun guy, he's involved in karate and rafting. And those are just some random highlights, but it's a fun book. And because we loved Bob and Synergistic, we did a compilation of all of the early game manuals, and this is much more than just some scanned manuals. We've got some cover variations, so that one on the left is a variation of the Odyssey cover. Created a custom title page with screenshots. The left side there has kind of the about and some in-game screenshots. So it's really fun that way. And then of course at the end, detailed software credits. So that's my 11-minute overview of where we are to date. Now we're to 2018. What have we done this year? By the way, any questions so far? Yes?
Since you're blowing through your slides so fast.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just figured a lot of people have seen some of this before. So.
get your slides instead of trying to copy all that down so fast?
Yes.
Okay.
Or a lot of it, if you just go to our website, like Call-A.P.L.E.org, if you click on the books tab, Call-A.P.L.E.org/books, all the books are there, and you can go to detailed press releases on each one. If you go to Call-A.P.L.E.org and you click the members tab, you'll have all the membership. So it's pretty easy to find the equivalent of what I've just presented.
You don't need the slides, go to the website.
Yeah, that's probably a little easier and more detailed than you want to hear right now. So earlier this year, we got in contact with John Blankenship, and we re-released and fully retypeset the Apple House, which is home automation for your Apple II. What could be better, right? And Bill also spent a lot of time retyping all of the source code because John didn't even have disks of any of his original programs that are featured in this book. It was originally published in 1984, not by us, but we've got it broken out here. There's all sorts of different hardware, software, full source code available. He shows you how to use hardware that you can buy as well as building your own. And just some highlights of some of the different sections, like voice synthesizers. Lots of fun charts and graphs, trying to make it clear and easy. And of course, all the source code in the book and also available on a free disk image for anyone that might want it. And I can't remember who, but Bill was telling me somebody that's here at Kansasfest has really taken off with this book and done some neat things with it. The next big one we released in the last month is All About Applesoft. This is a book that APPLE originally released in 1981, and this was sort of like a mini What's Where in the Apple from the perspective of, hey, this will be quick. No, it's fully retypeset, expanded, clarified. It's a lot more than the original. There's about 280 pages. It's for beginners, intermediate, advanced. You've got a lot of programming references, how-tos, over 40 utility programs and library routines to help you understand BASIC, guided Applesoft tour, construction of BASIC, in-ROM routines, strings, memory usage, machine language extensions, ampersand, etc., etc. So there's one of the articles by Val Golding, Applesoft from bottom to top. The book does feature a lot of different authors covering different topics. So that's the first one. We've got a real variable study by Eric Goetz. And he's talking about different loops here in the routine example he's giving, like a active paddle loop, command key evaluation. So he's breaking out line by line, section by section in the programs what the different areas do, so you can read, understand, and then adapt that to your own software. Applesoft Internal Entry Points by John Crossley. Text pointer input routines. This is just the beginning, but a sample of the index of memory routines that are covered. Making Basic Behave by Bob Hulsdonk. High-res graphics routines. And this is one thing well, Bill is too, but I'm especially passionate about with all of our books, is adding as much art as possible to make it fun. So all the art you see throughout the book is art that originally appeared in some of the early Call-A.P.L.E. magazines. And so I've tried to put that in many places where appropriate, like the ultimate input nearly anything subroutine with the guy inputting himself into a barrel of apples for fun. Using delimited string arrays. Amplifying Applesoft by David Lingwood. Applesoft Memory Locations by David and Bill. And Commands. Memory Allocation And then I did a peeks, pokes, and calls section that was inspired by a list I put together when I was a kid that goes into a lot of different categories. Any questions on those two books that I've talked about so far, Apple House or All About Applesoft?
I don't know if I missed it, but you said you spent an agonizing amount of time retyping that. So do you have a digital version of that or the source code somewhere?
Well, and I'll mention this again later, but with any of our books that have programs or source code, we do have a new website, callapple.org/apps, where anyone can go and download the disk images of all the included software. As far as digital copies of the book, I do have some on my docket, but it's a matter of free time to put them together. I am planning to do some digital books of some things. This one is not on the list right now. As far as the full book. The Tome of Copy Protection, if you were in Lane's presentation earlier, you heard a little bit about this. It's designed to help you understand and create your own copy protection schemes. And it's 392 pages. And just a quick personal anecdote I thought was funny. My first Kansasfest was 2012, and I ended up rooming with Lane. He was telling me about this book, and I helped him convert his early legacy documents, just trying to help out a nice guy. And then unexpectedly, here we are in 2018, and we're doing a book. So it's just funny how things come full circle in life sometimes. It does include source code documentation and tips for over 25 programs talked about in the book that Lane and Bruce Jones have created. And it also has forewords from game developer John Romero and our own beloved applesauce creator John Morris. And I'm just going to actually highlight each of the chapters in this book because I think they're so interesting. So the introduction is a bit of history, of course, and a nice summary of the programs that come with it. There's a full-featured image copier, a lister that converts Merlin source code to text files, programs to install the copy protection routines that are talked about in the book, a very advanced nibble editor, and some sector and track programs as well. A chapter on Disk 2 mechanics, reading and writing data to the disk, the role of self-sync. And Lane mentioned this, but I should mention it too. He and Bruce had originally published an earlier version of this book, advertised in Computist and other places. This book, like our books, is fully retypeset, reformatted, updated graphics, expanded. Although I would really like to own an original. The Art of Nibble Counting, bit insertion, invalid bytes, configuring a nibble editor. Just one of the screens on some of the disk transitions. Advanced bit insertion, bit by bit, talking about the elusive sync bit. Oh, another thing I thought would be kind of fun. Every chapter, the little disk image, if you look, is the name of a favorite copy program or utility like Locksmith or Copy.P.L.E or Super IOB, fun stuff like that, just for a little variety. Lots of appendices on disk formats and other things, and full listings for all the source code in the tome, which of course you can download from our website as well.
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
I've only been talking for 21.
You have a half hour.
Okay. The Apple's Apprentice from Roger Wagner. I guess I'm really blazing through this. It's a wonderful magazine that is now compiled. There were 3 issues, fully enhanced, restored. Nice forward from Roger. And just wanted to show you a sample of some of the fun that's inside. I did sell out here, but of course you can buy this online. Lots of articles. It said it's aimed at kids from ages 8 to 80, which certainly could apply to all of us.
At the same time.
At the same time, that's right. Ask the Wizards. Spells and Potions. Yeah, it's articles on basic assembly language. This is the freaking out article Roger talked about by Cheshire Catalyst. Some fun cartoons. There's the second issue cover. Crosswords. Days of the Nights contests that they ran. The last issue cover. GQ shot with Roger there. It was a very high quality production. We also have manuals that we've released. Blankenship Basic, which is a very advanced basic. Big Mac Macro Assembler. The Scrambler, which is a copy protection creator for your disks if you need copy protection in your business office on an Apple II. Turtle Graphics for Applesoft. And again, all of these are available at callapple.org/apps if you don't want to go to the individual book pages. Gbbs Pro, we did release the book a few years ago. The awesome BBS software, major update for any Gbbs lover. Lots of expanded things. And we had announced the software would be available late last year, but the programmer kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And so thanks to heroes Lane Roth and Anton Vignow, we've been able to reboot that. And really, truly, there will be a Gbbs update very soon. Lane is working on it right now, and we hope to have something out shortly after K-Fest. Lane is awesome. Thank you, Lane. Yeah. We released the Structures iOS app, Martin Hayes game. How much time do I have?
2 minutes.
All of these books, we partner with authors, so when you buy one of our books, you're not supporting us only, you're also supporting the author. And we do appreciate that. And our one more thing, we love apps, and we're actively releasing more and more apps from our library. We are releasing MicroWriter, which is a fun word processor for the Apple II. It generates standard text files. It's simpler than the most advanced, more than the most simple. It's got a lot of commands and things. And last year we announced we'd recovered the Twilight 2 source code, and that is now being worked with. And any questions in the seconds that remain? Thank you, everyone.